girl. It's probably 30 years ago, and he's a much younger man. Her name is Princess, and she's wearing like a little pink tutu, and she's got like dangling ladybug headpiece, and she looks to be about 16. And he pulls out a gun and says, "I'm sorry, Princess, but the time's up. It's time to have a new leader." And he shoots her in the head. And then we jump forward about 16 years later, and he says to a new young girl dressed in the same clothing, and he says, "I'm sorry, Princess. Your time's up. It's time for a new leader." And he shoots her in the head too. And you know that he wants forgiveness because it's almost time for the current princess to, retire. And that he's going to have to shoot one more young woman in the head.
Okay. All right.
And he wants forgiveness from all of the young women he shot. Yeah. Didn't expect that shit, did you?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, what are you going to do now?
Cry.
You've grabbed him by the face, and he's like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck are you doing to me?"
I'm like, you need forgiveness, but you get none. And then I try to snap his neck.
Okay. You're doing it with your hands?
Yeah, I have no other weapons on.
I thought you have one small fancy weapon. Oh, you fucking gave it away, didn't you?
Yeah.
Wow, you're in
hand-to-hand
some
combat.
deep
Me and this old man to the
shit.
death.
You're in some super deep shit. Because you can only
have backup.
deal zero. Oh, yeah, you can only deal zero harm with your.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like
You know,
something, though, right?
Nope.
You know,
Nope.
I
You're
might,
literally incapable of harming this guy.
can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Wait, hold on.
To Henrik. I guess
I have a brain relay. I don't think
so.
that's sharp.
Arthur,
Yep.
for my advancement, I will take Reality's Fraying Edge, which gives me plus augury. And I think that's the only way that I can possibly remotely intercede in this situation.
All right, let's check augury.
Okay.
What you're using your workshop as the antenna in that case.
Yeah,
you're
some
using your
tool in my
workshop.
workshop
Okay.
is receptive.
Yeah, so at the same time, we see you in the back looking over the Shelby GT, maybe with some plans on the GT's hood
Yep.
that are like the machine gun. You're trying to figure out how to fix it.
Yep.
And you finally worked out how to connect your brain to the workshop. You're in the zone, man, so why don't you fucking roll weird?
All right.
What's the move called?
It's called augury. It's a hocus move.
Well, Hocus and Savvy Head, but yes. Weird. Please don't fuck this up. Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Whew. Okay, on a hit. Let's see.
Battle moves.
So I think I kind of have, like, so reach through the world's psychic maelstrom to something or someone connected to it. I think I am doing this to Henrik's character and making
think-
kind of a psychic link.
Yeah, right when I'm like
Right.
reading the guy's brain or something, so I'm all connected to the maelstrom.
Yeah. So right at that moment, I get all of the information that he has.
Yep.
And I am going, and I think I have to choose it reaches deep into the world's psychic maelstrom
Yeah,
since
to
he's really
reach it.
far away.
Yep. What's your other one?
And it's stable and contained, no bleeding.
Okay.
So we have basically a perfect link. And I've seen just what he saw. I am going to make the suggestion to him that rather than trying to kill him, why not
Wait,
send...
can we have like a Matrix scene where the two of you meet up in like a
Yes.
completely
Yeah,
white space?
yeah.
You're just talking to each other?
So I reach out and I grab his brain and I'm like seeing all the things, and then like when the last one's done, you're like there with it, me, like watching it.
Can I?
Oh, it's like Sensei! Yeah! Fuck yeah,
Yep.
it's like Sensei.
Oh, damn it! I wanted to make a suggestion where like you appear in a white room, you look around, and and there's Sherman sitting in a kiddie pool, just like drinking a beer with sunglasses on or something like that. Like one of those inflatable ones, and the water's just coming up to his belly a little
Well,
bit.
you tell me, Sherman, how does this happen?
Okay, so I am literally sitting down, and like in kind of like a cafe table out in the middle of the street, right?
Out in the street.
I'm
out in the street.
Out in the street. There's a cafe table, and on it there's like a couple of drinks, maybe like a margarita, like drinks that haven't been seen on the face of the earth for like 100 years,
50 years.
Whatever the apocalypse happened, and I'm just casually looking over, and I look at the table, and I'm like, "Fuck, this is amazing!" Pick up a drink and take a sip, and like I'm watching him like as he's doing this, but I'm also kind of seeing through his eyes as he does it. Whenever I see the bit about Princess, I say to him, "Listen." In that kind of like ringy mind voice thing.
Like Sherman?
Yeah.
And then you're there, Henrik. You're there in the street, sipping on a
Out
mimosa.
in the street. Okay.
I was actually watching, and then
moist,
this particular.
juicy.
What's that?
But my brain, I know it's fake, but my brain is telling me it's real.
Oh, God. Again.
So at this particular moment, time freezes, right? And
Yeah.
we have like our psychic communication.
Your stable,
And
contained psychic bond. Yeah.
I motion him over to the table, and we have a conversation.
Yeah,
You know what's nice about this is you can make out-of-character suggestions in character now.
Yep.
You're like, hey, man, I was going to tell you to do this move, but now I'm telling it you with my brain.
That's actually specifically why I took the augury right now, because it makes
Awesome.
no sense me giving him advice from my current character's position.
All right.
So anyway, I motioned him to the table and was like, "Look here."
There's a guy above you, upside down, playing a piano, and they're playing Electric Avenue.
Don't mind him. It's cool.
Like,
You
it's
and
fine.
We need to have a conversation. Listen, you have yourself an opportunity here. Did you actually think you'd be able to kill him in unarmed combat, one-on-one, with your bare hands? Look at that man.
His neck is bigger than your entire face.
Well, I was hoping to get a knife, something sharp.
Yeah, and how'd that work out for you?
Not very well, I almost killed one of the guys that's trying to get my back.
Yes, that's exactly right, which means you need to adapt to the situation here. I'll tell you what you're going to do. You've learned something very valuable about this guy. You've learned motivation. Use that to turn it against himself. Do you know how to do that?
princess.
You don't have to become the next
Become the
princess.
next
You
princess.
just have to convince him that doing in the new princess is the right way to go. If you can convince him to go after the current princess, then and engineer a situation in which the current guard takes him out, I believe you'll have yourself a situation in which you can advance your current interests without doing any harm yourself. More specifically, having any harm done to yourself.
All right, just roll with the princess murder thing, huh?
No. I think that kind of out of character. I think I probably know this in character. But what brainer moves did you just take?
Deep brain scan.
Deep brain scan, and I have my gloves. I can just touch someone and roll to ask a few questions.
Okay.
Secret pains and stuff. What ways are your character's minds and souls vulnerable? On a miss, I inflict harm on someone.
Okay. Arthur, this kind of gets into what the augury can actually do for me. Is there any way that I can physically or psychically interject myself into the situation at any? Nope. Okay. I point him at Stanley. I guess this is Stanley. Is that right?
Yep.
Is that his name? It says Stanley. It says, "You have right there a man seeking redemption. Give it to him, and you might find that he does himself in rather than having you do it for him." And then the link breaks.
I think
and,
it breaks like a Final Fantasy style battle.
Yep.
So everything breaks out into tiny shards of glass, and then you're back in the real world.
Yeah, and all you can hear is, "I'm going over down to electric." No, wait, that's.
Front of the...
But then you realize you
sound
you look around and you realize that you pulled out the speakers and you're like, "Oh, thank God." It'll only last for a few more days, and then it will go away.
Henrik, let's jump back to you since you're in the middle of combat. Your three guys are coming out the wind blades with their guns held like upside down and sideways, and they're shooting at Visage. Visage is just like like a ridiculously long amount of time, and then they finally get done shooting, and he falls to the ground like all three of them are out of bullets.
Okay.
Stern is reaching for his gun in his left holster. What do you do?
I say, stay your hand, murderer of princesses. I know what you've done.
I know what you did last 16 years.
Last 30
That's 30 years.
This is interesting. Are you going aggro or are you manipulating him?
Yeah, I'm going aggro on him, I guess. Right?
It's something you can do if you want, because he doesn't have his gun out yet.
I want to force him to stop drawing.
Okay, all right. Let's roll plus hard.
Let's do it. Damn it! These rolls are terrible today.
Yeah, that's a 6. He finishes drawing and then shoots you in the chest with his gun.
All right, I have 1 armor.
Okay. So let's see here. I need you to roll for you have 1 armor,
D6?
so roll 2d6 plus 1.
So what are the elaborate on the harm rolling again for me?
You roll 2d6 plus the amount of harm you take.
And then
what
You
is
wanna
that?
roll
What does the
low.
result tell you?
Oh, of course, now I get the good rolls.
You roll really good. You suffered harm on a 10 plus. I get to choose. You're out of action. It's worse than it seemed. Or I can have a bunch of other things happen to you. Yeah, I think it's worse than it seemed. You take another harm. So you should be at 6 o'clock right now.
Okay, where's my...
It can get better on its own. I think he grazes you, probably. Like, it bounces off your armor. It's basically like a ricochet. You got maybe like a broken rib or something. It'll get better on its own. And his gun kind of jams, and he's trying to get it unjammed. The rest of the guys are, like, turning around and running away. You hear them. You hear Bill shout. He's like, "Oh shit! He got his gun out!" He just starts running. He tosses his pistol in the air and like kicks Visage as he runs past. And Visage's head is like, "Oh." What
Does
do you
the
do?
gun happen to land within arm's reach of them?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have
gun's
to take
empty,
his gun.
so-
I'm gonna have to take his gun.
You're gonna seize by force his
Yeah.
gun.
Hmm.
Okay, that's a thing you can do. You're trying
Yeah.
to secure your hold on his gun.
Do it, boo. Oof.
What'd you get?
Got an 8.
All right, cool. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
On a hit, choose options. You get 2.
Okay, I get 2. I'm gonna inflict terrible harm and take definite hold of it.
So
Okay.
what? You're struggling over it, and
Yep,
then
the gun goes off.
Yeah.
You punch him in the face in the process, and he starts bleeding out of his broken nose. But you've got the gun in the process. You take 1 harm again. Can you roll a
Okay,
harm
so that
move?
goes me up to... Oh, I roll and then see if it... So
Yeah,
that's
you're at 9 o'clock,
the same roll,
so it's pretty bad.
right?
Yep,
6.
Okay, good for you.
that's
it doesn't.
great. Nothing else happens.
Okay.
What page are these harm tools?
Other than me just finishing him off.
They're underneath the basic moves for harm. Peripheral moves, harm and healing.
Oh, I'm literally at that page because of the other one. Okay.
Okay. So let's see here. Oh, you got a 6. And let's see here. Nothing happens to you as a result.
So technically, you could
I
choose
got
something.
it. No, I got it. You're gonna take -1 harm, so you're not gonna take any harm from this. You'll still be at 6 o'clock, but you drop the gun in the process. Yeah. He shoots you, and you're just like, "Ugh!" and you toss the gun away. I really don't want you to have that gun right here. Yeah, it's the two of you. You're fighting unarmed. You're not in a minefield, and he's not your father. But it's basically like Metal Gear.
Shit.
I think he's like, "What the fuck, Henrik? What the fuck? What do you mean I need forgiveness? Why are you trying to my gun?"
I'm like, you have one chance, and one chance only. And you will pay for what you have done to all those poor girls. And you admit to me right now that you are the one responsible for the murders of the princesses. And I like, am like standing my ground, like right in front of him, like, still prepared for him to like dive towards a gun or like lash out at me.
Okay, all right. It sounds like you're manipulating him.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to manipulate him,
All right.
which is with.
He's not making any forward moves, so you don't need to act under fire. Go ahead.
But this
And
is
then,
the hardest thing.
Sherman, if the situation still
me to do.
pertains it, I'll let you jump in with augury afterwards.
This is gonna go so bad, guys.
I love how you're rolling the shittiest possible stats for your character, and it's just getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
Yep, you just roll a 6.
Well, I mean, it wasn't
man.
a terrible roll. It's the -2 that hurts.
Yeah, that's bad. Okay. I think he gets you in a chokehold and just starts dragging you back into town.
Should have took him with him.
Sherman.
He's irresponsible.
Yeah, like, he gets you, maybe it's like a full Nelson or something, you're just basically unable to act for a short time. Sherman, what are you telling Henrik as he's, like, you're invading his mind as he's being dragged away?
So it's not Henrik that I'm going after.
Oh.
So I'm gonna do my plus augury. So the connection broke. I have no idea what the current situation is.
Okay.
I just know what I saw and kind of the state of things.
Okay.
So I'm gonna augury, and we'll see what goes from here.
All right,
so,
let's do it.
Partially succeed. All right. So what does my augury book say? Augury. Insert information into the world's psychic maelstrom.
Okay.
I would like to do.
All right.
And
What information are you putting in there?
it, I think I have to do it reaches deep into the world's psychic maelstrom.
Yep, you're reaching all the way out to him.
Yep. And I'm going to plant the thought in his mind.
Well, it's not in his mind, it's in the psychic maelstroms.
It's in the psychic, well, which kind of bleeds into, I guess,
Everybody's
everyone?
mind, yep.
Okay. That Princess is trying to remove Stanley as a threat because she knows the history.
Fantastic.
Of
That will
Stanley
make
killing-
so much shit back in town.
Yep. So, I mean, you can kind of play it off of how you will, but the fact that there's just been an attempt on his life probably kind of fuels his actions going forward. And I think at this point, I have to continue doing this, otherwise the information is lost. Because I can't.
Yep, if you break it, it's gone.
Yeah.
So,
So I basically kind of go into a bit of a trance in the back of the truck, and I'm not working on the machine gun.
That's a brilliant play, though.
I feel really bad because you've been rolling all these stats that aren't very good for you. You get such a great storyline, but yeah, I think that's where we're going to cut to Liz.
Yeah, I haven't rolled a single cool, did I? No.
You guys roll
I highlighted
into
that.
the Hammerhead compound, and
The Hammerhead
there's
Mountain?
the compound, their depot.
The Hammerheads, like the Great Whites.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Great Whites. Great Whites. Yeah, sorry. Well, it's Hammerhead's compound. But
Why are we
yes,
going there again?
to
To
get
get the
all the
whatchamacallit
stuff.
and
Father.
the-
Yeah, you're going to get your
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
You guys roll in there. There's a couple of the white powdered wigged, Great Whites. In the center of the compound, tied to a post on one side is Gnarly, and on the other side is Son's father.
Wait, who's
Both
Gnarly?
of them, yeah, Gnarly.
Who's
The guy
Gnarly?
from
Oh
from
yeah, the guy.
the beginning with the leaf, like big leaf
Yeah,
pants or whatever.
he got
What?
nabbed at the grenade testing.
Yep.
Oh yeah, okay.
Shotgun, and someone got yanked. That's
Yep.
not-
People actually remembered who he was. I'm so thankful. They're both tied using a ridiculous number of ropes around. So it's not that they're like tied to it. They're hanging from a number of ropes that are like all around like a ship's mast. There's clearly way more ropes here than there need to be, because only one of them's actually tying to them to the post. So the rest are like for show or something. The rest of their camp is really sloppy. There's just trash everywhere. There's disease, like rats lying in the ground. They've got like a kangaroo roasting on a spit. I feel like now that Henrik isn't here, there's kangaroos everywhere. Yeah, they've got like a kangaroo out there. There's a guy with a sign that says "Good Dog," and he's got like some miscellaneous meats roasting over an open fire. As you arrive, Liz, what are you doing? Like, people are like eyeing their weapons. No one's drawing down on anybody, but they're interested to see why someone who's not riding a motorcycle's here.
This seems like a. It seems like we're entering a situation which could become dangerous. How many guys are there that are armed?
4. There's 4 guys that are all armed.
Okay. So let's try and get an eye for the situation.
Okay. Let's do it.
I have no idea what's going on.
There's like a couple cute guys.
Yeah. Am I able to?
Those guys are hot.
Am I able to read a sitch in this situation?
Yeah. Let me figure out what's happening to Liz. And
Oh, is that what Liz just did?
Yeah, Liz just did.
Yeah, I
it.
was trying to read it, but
Yeah, Liz, I'll tell you what happened here. But in the process, they're gonna get a read on you. You're gonna, if you wanna like take a good look at them, they're gonna gaze back into you.
oh, they can look all they want.
Dang.
Okay. Yeah. So ask one question.
Da, 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 da. Who here is wasn't there like a who's in charge or something?
Who's in
like
control here?
that?
Hammerhead's in control here.
Yeah. Okay, he outranks the other guys. Okay.
Yep.
Good to know. And we've already made a deal with him, so that eases me up a little bit.
All right, Gaza, what do you having happen?
I just want to understand what's going on with this sacrifice, whatever's going in the middle there.
Okay.
And that's a 14.
Ask me some questions. I'll tell you no lies.
Okay. So this is read a sitch. What's the best escape route?
I think that it would be turning around and coming back. But
Is
you
there
see
like,
that-
can I like loop around the circle bit? sort
What?
of thing?
Yeah, sure. But there's actually a bus with like a ramp put up next to it, like a tent, and you realize that if you were to just drive over that, you could jump over the wall of the compound.
All right.
That's
cool.
your best escape route.
the coolest escape route.
Yeah, that's just how you're leaving, actually.
Which is the biggest threat?
The biggest threat here is if anybody figures out that Sherman is also half Aboriginal.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're actually asking which enemy is the biggest threat.
Yeah, which enemy?
Okay.
is the
There's a man out there. His name is Shaq. Shaq has a rocket launcher. It is a what do they call it? A Carl Gustav. He's got a. Carl
After I
Gustav.
spot that, I instantly get on the horn up to the nest and I'm like, Liz, you might want to just get off the gun, come into the cab.
Say, so would you call? So is this what we consider a charged situation?
Yeah, you've already been reading chart situations. Yeah.
And
You've made it a charged situation.
Yeah, you. So the thing is, Liz, you've already read the situation and nothing's changed, so you can't read it again.
I don't
and I
tend
get
to do that.
I get
Okay.
one more
Yeah, let's
question.
get to that then.
What's my enemy's true position? Because like I want to work out what's happening in this like little tiny
Okay.
flag
Yeah.
mast-pole
So
thing.
imagine that there's a flagpole in the middle. You guys came in from the 9 o'clock position, from like west to east. They're stationed at like the guy who's roasting dogs is at the 6 o'clock. Chak is at the 3 o'clock. Hammerhead is riding up to the two men at the 12 o'clock position.
Okay.
And they're all kind of eyeing your bus right there at the entrance. And you know, of course, it would take a long time to turn around. But if you drove straight across the compound, you could jump over that bus and...
Sure, yeah.
Okay, let's get in on the rolling all this stuff to get XP thing, but also doing something cool at the same time.
All right.
I'm going to, as soon as he tells me there's a guy there with a rocket launcher.
No, I say get off the gun. You should come.
Yeah, he didn't say there was... I mean, you can see that there's a guy there with a rocket launcher.
I see a guy with a rocket launcher, and I look at him, and I flash my prettiest smile.
God, he's just gonna look at you and be like, "I like men."
That's exactly what's gonna happen. I can see it now.
Well, let's find out. I'm going to use my new move and try, which is dangerous and sexy.
Hell yeah!
And let's.
A pasty falls off. He's like, "Oh."
You
enough.
got an 8. Tell me what's happening here.
That is enough. On a 7 to 9, I hold 1, and I spend it immediately. I make eye contact with him. He freezes or
Can't
flinches.
take action until you break it off.
Yeah, and I just
Okay.
look at him.
Okay, so you've literally... We have Sherman in the back who can't stop concentrating. Now you're locked into keeping eye contact with this guy. So Gaz is the only person in the whole fucking truck who can do anything.
That is correct.
Okay, Gaza, what are you doing now?
I'd like to remind Gaza that if he does anything to destroy his truck, I cannot fix his radio.
So, real quick, what's happening with Liz is that Shaq is looking up at Liz, and he's like, "That's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen." And he's making eye contact with you. And I think in his mind, there's like a Taylor Swift song playing, probably Picture to Burn. He's like, "I wish that we still had flash photography."
So the only thing that the audience here is, "I'm gonna do, got to."
I thought you guys disabled it, man.
We disabled it. Yeah.
Anyway,
To the show as well, though. So like
Yeah.
the audience doesn't get a break, just the characters.
all right. So
I feel like they'd have to pay Eddie Grant a lot of money for this show. We'd like to buy the right to play your song hundreds of times an episode.
Yeah. So I see what's going on with the guys are sort of like just sort of mesmerized by like Liz's bountiful beauty. And then I park up and I just sort of maybe I roll down the window, I stick my head out, and I'm just like, "Hey, Hammerhead, we gonna do that deal or what?"
Yeah, so he starts bringing up, what'd you guys trade for? You traded for Son's father.
Son's father,
Son's father,
And
and
for another dude, for his
and
brother.
the regulator, the
For sure.
hyperflux regulator.
Yeah, he brings over the hyperflux capacitor, and he brings over Son's father, whose name is Father.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And he, like, throws them out in front of your truck. He's like, "Well, I did my part of this. Why don't you come down here? Why don't you bring down Bear?" Or no, Bear's strapped to the back of his truck. So why don't you come down here and pick it up? And he scratches the side of his nose. Kind of looks at you awkwardly.
All right, I'll bring down the grenade launcher with me.
Okay. Yeah, when you're down there, he, like, claps you on the shoulder.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Now listen, the rest of y'all folk, I'm not too sure about them. That lady up there, I mean, she seems right nice, but she did shoot at one of my boys, I think. And she scares me something
She
fierce.
didn't shoot at anyone.
She
never
shot
opened
at...
fire.
Yeah, you shot at Feldspar to force him in the path of the truck.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Oh.
you did shoot the ground.
Yeah. Okay. What
But
is
he wasn't really a recruit at that point, though, right?
He was
I
a
mean, it
recruit,
wasn't-
but he wasn't a full member. But the point is, he's like, "She scares me something fierce. I caught a look in her eye at the beginning of the fight, and I knew this is not a woman I wanted to tangle with."
Yeah, you're more likely to die between her legs than in front of a bullet. That's for sure.
He's like, I don't suppose I know that. You sure you don't want to join my crew? Hammerheads could use a man like the driver, the mailman, Gaza Stitcher.
I tell you what, I'm willing to do work for money, but I ain't gonna hold up to anyone's promises.
Well, you got a problem there, because we're all about oaths here, following the word of the Lord. You did kill my preacher, but I ain't holding that against you none.
Wait, did we kill the preacher? I thought Mako was the preacher.
Mako was the preacher. I thought you guys killed the fuck out of him.
No, we didn't
No,
do shit
I
to
don't think
him.
anyone shot him or killed him.
Oh, for some reason I thought that he was dead.
No, we didn't do
Okay,
shit.
ran
he
over-
says,
One
well, you
person
didn't
died.
kill my preacher, so I really appreciate that, and I'm not going to hold it against you.
Much better. Thank you, Father.
Well,
Yeah.
I ain't got any work for you unless you're willing to take some slaves in.
That man over there, the one tied up against the pole.
You're talking about Gnarly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his worth?
He's like, well, we ain't chopped his balls off yet, but once we do, we'll let him go free. I ain't got no reason to hold him.
I look over at Liz and she's still like, you know, swabbing up her boobs or whatever that she does when she's catching someone's attention.
She's just holding him by eye contact only. There's nothing.
Okay. Oh, so there's nothing else other than that?
Yeah,
Okay, that's
she's
pretty
just
powerful.
so
move then.
dangerously sexy.
Yeah. And I look back and I'm like, I look over at Gnarly and I'm like, would you be all right with us waiting for you to do your business and then we'll take him back?
He was like, oh, we can do it real quick. And he just starts snapping his fingers. He's like, check! Check! Check doesn't respond. He's like, fuck it! Fauna, bring me the chainsaw! The man comes up with the chainsaw. You see Gnarly's like, no! No, please! No! Not my dingleberries!
I just take a big drag of the fag and I just watch it and it's like,
You see Gnarly is like leaning around. He's like, guys, is that you? What do I do, boss? I don't want him to cut off my balls.
this is what happens when you get captured.
Fuck
Unless
you!
Unless you've got something worth trading to these boys.
He's like, they took my damn shotgun.
I believe that wasn't your shotgun.
I don't know that you'd know that.
Well, no. What's his...
Did Sherman ever say anything to you about it?
I think I did kind of relay the
Okay,
details.
then
'cause
yeah,
I-
you're like, it's not your shotgun. He's like, fuck you, finders keepers. It's the law of the desert.
Yeah, well, that belong. Then by that logic, your balls belong to these men.
I think that's the point where like the chainsaw hits him in the crotch, and he's like, ah! They cut him down real quick with the chainsaw. They're just like, shoop! And the ropes come down, and he's just bleeding on the ground, like, oh god! Hammerhead's like, cuts the chainsaw off, and he's like, all right then, he's yours. Why
You
don't
wanna do something about that bleeding? I mean, the Bilby. I don't want it to get
you-"
messy.
He shrugs his shoulders. He's like, not my problem.
Not my Bilby.
crotched blood all over your truck.
All right.
Worst blood.
So I will take both the father, the pot, and Narc to the back, and I'll sit him down, and maybe I'll like, I don't know, wrap him up or whatever, and then I'll get back into the front of the Bilby, and then I'll just sort of do a loop, and then drive out the way we came,
Okay.
and then we'll head off.
All right. I feel like this is a good stopping point because we're right about where we need to be stopping. Everyone
Yeah,
in
I
agreement?
wasn't gonna do.
You weren't gonna jump over the bus.
It's like,
so awesome.
So
It's a
that
shark
last
bus, are you
sharp
sure?
roll. I think I need to. I think that puts me at 5 again.
Okay, cool. Take your advance. Let's
Yeah.
talk about end of session stuff. Let me find my end of session stuffy.
Man, I need
stuff.
XP.
Oh, well, I know what's happening.
We're gonna take got to Electric Avenue. That's a really cool move, by the way.
I know.
Thor.
And
Yeah.
How long do you hold his gaze, by the way? As you're leaving the compound?
yeah, like
I
the whole.
It's like you're like
Out of
5 kilometers
curiosity,
away.
what-
You're still like looking at each other from like you just little tiny specks.
Is he gonna try to follow?
I know he's still looking. I can't stop now.
I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna see if he follows me.
No, he doesn't follow you,
He just started running.
but like I think the Bilby goes over a sand dune and then the connection's broken. And that's where we get the to be continued. At the end of every session, choose a character who knows you better than they used to. Liz, let's start with you. Who do you think knows you better than before?
That's a good question. Who knows me better? I think Sherman and Gaza were probably already knew pretty much the fact that I was slightly psychotic and all that. I don't know. That's a good. Did either of you learn anything interesting?
Well,
Share
how would you
anything?
say about like? Does it have to be that we share something, or can it be that the sort of mannerisms with each other develop? Because if that's the case, I would argue that maybe Gaza has, because he sort of like has come to rely on you to sit in the nest and do your job. But like I don't know how to take this read.
Well, Gaza did find out that the tape deck bothered Liz as well. I mean, I said that I cared about it. That's the only thing I can think of.
So you think Gaza knows you better?
I guess.
All right, Gaza, take a +1 hex with Liz.
Cool.
What's that got you to?
+2.
Excellent.
My only positive.
All right, Henrik, who do you think knows you better?
Yeah, definitely Sherwin.
Yeah.
Basically has to be Sherman.
I think,
Sherman, can you give +1 with Henrik?
Yes.
What's that bring him to?
1.
Gaza, who knows you better?
I would probably say Sherman.
Okay, can you give +1 Sherman?
Yep.
What's that
Brings me to
bring you?
+3.
Oh, nice. Sherman, who knows you better?
It's probably gonna have to be Gaza.
Right.
I think the connection in the cab when he apologized, we understood each other a little bit better.
So yeah, I'm at a -2. Does that put me at a -1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, any of our interfering rolls, does that modify our HX at all?
Nope.
Okay. What do we do to increase HX? Is it
This right here. Just,
okay? Is this all that does it?
That's correct.
Okay. Doesn't healing also do it?
Healing or harming can affect it as well. If you
Okay.
inflict harm or healing, you get that much hex with the person.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna put the stat polls in chat for our Twitchers, and then I'll put it in Roll20 for you guys to purview.
I'm thinking I might take for my upgrade either Daredevil or Ice Cold.
Daredevil.
It literally means the
Yeah.
Belby will get an extra armor,
Yep.
and that seems pretty good to me.
It's literally that whenever you just fucking go hard as shit and you push yourself to the limit, you somehow mystically project armor over your vehicle.
Yeah, it's more like everyone around me, I assume, would get like feared in some way or whatever.
Sure.
Or yeah. All right, I'll take Daredevil. Seems good.
If you happen to be leading a gang or convoy, it gets +1
Oh wait,
as well.
actually, I had a question. There
Yep.
was another one that I wanted to take.
So with Daredevil, you have to go straight into danger, by the way.
Yeah, I get that.
You could say that you'd have to be living on the edge, always where you've yearned to be.
Yeah. I was thinking about taking the gun lugger move, not to be fucked with. What does that
fucking
mean?
masters.
Can you
Not to be fucked with? In battle, you
Yeah.
count as a gang. Okay. I don't know if I can explain it on screen with the time that we have, but it alters the way that you fight in combat as you. Like, when you're outside your car, you count as being, like, 6
10
people at
guys or
once.
something.
It makes it gives you more armor, it makes you more difficult to hurt, and it allows you to harm people more.
But you also literally have a crew of guys with you, or no?
No, you count as a gang.
Okay, you count
You're
as
just
a gang.
such. He's become such a badass hand-to-hand fighter or like close range specialist that. Yeah.
I kind of imagine that he would become like basically John Wick driving his Mustang into combat. Have you seen that movie where he's
No.
like,
Yeah.
But I
Oh.
understand
Yeah.
it's Keanu
this only
Reeves.
happens outside of the car, right?
Yeah, because it's a gang. So
Oh.
gang combat's only when you're not in the vehicle.
is that Because
I guess when
I
you're
don't-
in the vehicle, you would count as a gang, and that would increase your armor while you're in there.
yeah,
Okay.
I think that means that because I mean your vehicle is nothing more than a stat buff. on
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Yeah, you would just basically count as a gang all the time.
your-
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take not to be fucked with then.
Okay. I have a question. What is it that has made you not to be fucked with? What combat style, what inspiration have you gained to become such a badass that you count as multiple
the catalyst happened when my reputation became known in this region.
people? Okay.
Like, and it's less about me changing and more about my perception, or people's perception of me changing, to the point where I haven't done any like.
Can I offer a
combat?
suggestion?
Yeah,
it's
sure,
not.
go.
It's not even like your reputation so much. Now that your reputation is spread, people are afraid of you, and that goes into the weird, and it just becomes true.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Yeah, like you are guarded by the mystic force of people's fear of you.
I like it.
You
So
wear the fear of you as armor.
Okay.
Does it just
Maybe
give
some of
you
like the
+1
rebar
armor?
spikes on your truck have become like have accumulated
So
Some-
much blood.
so much blood and gore that it just looks scarier.
So my armor is what now?
It doesn't change. You 3 harm gang small. Which one of the addition? Okay, so under Gunlonger, it has the gang rules. If you want to look under that.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice
Yep,
that. Okay.
you're a gang.
3 harm.
Oh no, that's not the right gang. We're gonna have to look through the PDF.
All right. Yeah. We'll talk.
For the gang rules, there's a whole subchapter on it, but
You count as more than one person.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that's-
there's gang combat where it's like the relative size of the gang matters. So basically, you can fight more than one person and still come out on top. Is what it boils
Okay.
down to.
I
need to
think
take
that if you're a gang and you're attacking a non-gang or a smaller gang,
You get more damage done.
yeah, you get more damage done and you take less damage. Okay, so it's on page 249 apparently. Let's look it up.
I see. There's also some rules on 169.
Gang size. Okay, there's that. By default, your gang has that, and that. Using a gang as a weapon. There you go.
Yeah, so I think it just means that you inflict more damage relative if the gang is smaller, like by each step. So if you're fighting against one guy, you automatically inflict +1 harm.
Yeah, so it's you literally deal 3 harm now. Like you can
Like-
kill a man by punching him.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Is that
All
well? Punching is like a 1 harm action, right? Or is it
Right,
2?
but he's a gang. He's a 3 harm gang.
Oh,
He
Oh, yeah,
literally no matter what he's doing, he can kill people at will.
that's true. Actually, against a single person, he would actually do an additional harm, wouldn't
Yep.
he? So he does a 4 harm against one person.
Yes.
At any
You
point,
take,
you can
uh,
punch
you
someone in the
also-
face.
Oh, your gang doesn't have any armor. That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, you have armor according to the circumstances. We'll figure that out. It's probably going to be whatever your armor you're already wearing. But now, no matter what weapon you wield, you're always dealing 3 harm.
Oh, I thought this was an armor thing.
It can give you armor, but it seems to be kind of...
It gives you armor if you're only fighting
circumstantial.
against one person.
Yes.
Because they're a smaller gang.
Oh, I see. So if I'm fighting,
If you fight in single combat, you're great. You're fantastic.
okay, and this comes out from the car as well, right?
Yes.
So I can like shoot my grenade launcher from the car or from the gyro and
Yes.
add all those things together.
Yep.
Well, to be fair, I think the weapons that I've picked, they just kill people anyway. So
I don't know that not to be fucked with is a great move for you.
no, I don't think it is either because when I'm in the car,
Oh. I don't
mean,
know,
like,
because
it-
now you can have like a pistol that automatically kills people, regardless of whatever their armor is. Like even if you're in your, because the grenade launcher is great if someone's not on the ground. Hint, hint. So, like, if you're actually shooting a grenade in with a bunch of people, you can actually like kill allies in the process. Which I don't think you have a weapon currently that can avoid doing that.
I have a shotgun.
Yeah, but that's a close range weapon. So you can
I
get
also
like
have
a
my
long
machine
range
gun
and short
as
range,
well.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
You can take the week to figure it out. You got a week to come back to this.
There's nothing.
I'll think on it. But yeah, okay. So
You should definitely read the gangs chapter.
yeah, basically, I'm looking for something to give my car more armor, if I can.
I think it's already pretty highly armored, right? It's
Yeah,
already
it's
at
got 3
2.
armor. You need a pretty big weapon to punch through that.
Yeah. If you have 3 armor, that's going to be super difficult.
Like literally, the only guy that could have harmed that car in that entire encounter was the guy with the anti-material rifle,
Which harmed the car twice. Yeah.
which did well. It
Well, it only
car
harmed the
once.
car once. It just
It
took out
disabled the machine gun, yeah.
Yeah.
Which isn't really harm per se.
Mm.
Not in the sense that it blows things up.
Any final thoughts here before we close out?
Yeah, I guess I'm starting to get a hang of this game a little more. I mean, I don't like that how the questions have happened so far, because it's literally like we've asked a question for the sake of just getting XP, and we already know the answers to them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Sure, but you knew them out of character rather than in character.
yeah, I guess so. And it's just one of those weird things, right? So, yeah.
Sure, but there's always the chance of failure, which means that I get to do stuff.
So
And
what?
we've already
what-
established you don't
Well,
like it when I do
I didn't
stuff.
realize that I can't kill anyone if I'm unarmed. Like I can't do any harm.
Technically, you have your Violator glove, which can inflict 1 harm that's armor.
Oh, is
piercing.
that a thing that can do?
Yeah, I believe it
Interesting.
is.
So, Arthur, I have
Yes.
a question for you. This Shelby that we
Really?
picked up, is
I thought.
that actually like? Can we use that as another car, or do we have to scrap it?
Yes, you can use it as another car.
Interesting.
I can
Or
give
we
you
can
the
just-
stats for it. You're the only one that can use the driver ability stats for it, but I can
we-
tell you what the tags are.
We don't want to just
Yeah,
put the
alright.
extra axles on the Bilby.
Well, I mean, having another car would be pretty sweet, especially because this is the only time where I feel like the Shelby is the only one that, as we're driving, we can like use it as a vehicle to come out of the Bilby. That makes any sense? So someone can drive,
Deploy it out the rear.
sort of thing. Because the only way you can get into the Bilby is by literally putting down the back part, right?
Yeah, but the flip side is you'd have to basically move my entire workshop, which I have definitely paid for my space in your truck at this
No,
point.
you have the Shelby and the
workshop.
I know it's
workshop.
capacious, man, but we can't fit a Shelby, a gyrocopter, a workshop, and a living space for at least 2 people,
All right,
all
well,
in one trailer.
fair enough. It might be better.
I know a dozen horses is a lot, but
How much would you say the Shelby's worth in barter?
I don't know. I'll have to look over the barter table.
We'll also
Quite a
probably have
bit.
to.
It's a classic American muscle car.
Kind of funny that he ditched it like that, but yeah.
They ride motorcycles, man. Cars are for rookies. Prospect. Holy fuck. Yeah.
Prospect.
Your brother
yeah.
Sherman were prospects, and only prospects use cars because they're losers. Wow, can't believe it's been so long since I watched Sons of Anarchy. All right, guys. Any other closing thoughts here?
No, come save me.
Yeah, I think Sherman is going to be maintaining his psychic
The whole time?
trance.
You
Yeah, I
get back to town. Everybody's dead. There's a huge
gonna be
shootout
great.
over
It's gonna
Princess's
be
corpse.
fucking Great.
Stanley's
Yeah.
dead. Henrik is now the new Jesus.
Yeah.
After I raised
I-
a wallaby from the beyond the grave.
I kind of feel like right now Sherman is basically sitting in the back of the truck, just muttering nonsense like the hybrids.
You're
in
gonna
Battlestar
wake up to
Galactica.
2 guys with no balls who are just screaming and crying.
Like, they're literally right next to me, and I'm sitting there just like muttering nonsense, like in Battlestar Galactica when they were talking like like new command, resume function, like just kind of muttering to himself the entire time, and like the guys are literally screaming in his ear, and he's not like even registering them, and he's going to maintain that until someone actively snaps him out of it, which I'm hoping won't happen until we get back to town. but I don't know how much consciousness I have of what's going on around me in this particular situation. I think it'll be up to Arthur.
Okay, we'll figure
But
it
anyway,
out.
cool.
So you're
Great
talking.
game, everyone.
Okay.